In 2 minutes, let's find out from you what you thought the biggest story of August 2020 was. What did you think the biggest story of August 2020 was? Now we have been looking back at the year 2020, and this is the 8th episode, and we will start with a story that started in July and entered into August. July was a month of tough wars inside government. So you had Magu versus Malami, you had Joy Nune versus Akpabio, you had the Reps versus NDDC and the Niger Delta Ministry, and then you had the National Assembly versus what's the word now? The Labor Ministry over those 774,000 jobs. Do you remember? Our first story is the clash between Festus Keyamo, the Minister of State for Labour, Employment and Productivity, and members of both chambers of the National Assembly over the Special Public Works Program. Now, in case you haven't seen the video, we have it playing on our Facebook page at the moment, and here is an audio of that particular clash. It got really ugly. Festus Keyamo eventually accused the Senate of trying to sideline him and control the program directly. The Senate said that they just wanted to make sure the National Department of Employment, NDE, was doing the job well. But Keyamo insisted that the Senate was trying to extort him to get slots allocated to him. Eventually, the talk of slots became official. I don't know if you remember, but what I'm trying to do is play you clips from when we talked about it right here on Hard Facts. In our second story, lawmakers, governors, and ministers will all get slots from among the 774,000 jobs. Sanisu Aliyu Kunde told us this. Remember, Festus Keyamo set up committees in each state to handle the program? Well, Kunde is the chairman of the Bauchi State Committee. And he said the ministry has come up with a formula for sharing slots to all the top politicians. And he gave us numbers. Now, it wasn't clear whether his numbers were the total number of slots that each official gets or the total number of slots per local government area. But let's be generous and go with the lower number, right? Let's assume that it was total slots. Are you ready? Let's do some math. Governors will get 40 slots each. 40 times 36, that's 1,440 slots. Principal officers of both the Senate and the House get 40 slots each. So 20 times 40 is 800 slots. Now, the remaining senators have 30 slots each. 99 times 20 is 2,970 slots. Are you doing math? I hope you have like pen and paper and you're jotting this down. Jot things down. Now, the remaining reps have 25 slots each. 350 times 25 is 8,750 slots. Ministers get 30 slots each. 44 times 30 is 1,320. Now, let's add it all up. 1,440, 800, 2,970, 8,750, 1,350.
If you add all of those up, politicians are getting 15,280 out of the 774,000 slots. This is if we're going with the lower number, because again, remember that the committee here did not tell us one word yet how they're going to split this thing. So 15,000 jobs officially. That's not talking about the ones that they will still allocate behind the scenes. So over 15,000 jobs. Now, I want you to remember one thing. Those jobs were meant for you. This is not random and woof. Those jobs are meant to help people who have been devastated by COVID-19. Yesterday, we talked about how the monies for households had reduced. We talked about it on HardFacts. This morning, on the Morning Crossfire with Sheriff, you talked about how much money you now have, like how small the money now is, how it has reduced because of COVID-19, the impact that COVID-19 has had on household income. We talk about how you've lost your jobs, how the price of food has gone up. Gari is now expensive, yam is expensive. And now government has allocated 52 billion naira of your money to create jobs for you. But the government is saying politicians should pick who gets 15,280 of those jobs.
This clip you just listened to was from back in August. I said these things back in August 2020. So it happened in July, but actually I said that in July. Sorry, not August. This happened in July, right? But in August, the quarrel now became technical. The question now became, what's the best way to select the 774,000? It's supposed to be 1,000 jobs per local government, but how do you select those 1,000 workers? The law says that it should be NDE. National Assembly said NDE didn't have the capacity. First of all, the NDE doesn't have functional offices in every local government area. And some of you agreed when you called in at the time, right? And then you also have an NDE that did not have the records of job applicants, local government by local government. And so the National Assembly suggested that they should allocate the slots. After all, they are elected from the constituencies, and so they know their constituents, right? But then you had Keyamo saying no. He said the NDE reports to his ministry. So if the NDE cannot do the job, the ministry should set up a replacement. And so he decided to set up committees in each state to allocate the slots. And we had some controversy about that as well, especially here in Lagos, about the membership of those committees. You had the chairman of NURTW, you had the Eology General. Some of you felt that these were political appointments to run a patronage system. And it went on and on for a number of days, for a number of weeks, really. And there's an update on that story. The program has been plagued by delays, but now Keyamo is saying that it's going to kick off in January. Meanwhile, the House of Reps is looking into stopping the program because they insist that due process is not being followed. What do you think about this story? Are you one of those who says that it's unacceptable for the legislature to be collecting slots for an employment program run by the executive? Or do you believe it's unavoidable in our political system? Do you think that this program has been delayed too long? What do you think about that? Do you think this program even has merits? 0700-993-993 993 0700-993-993. You can share your thoughts via WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. In August, we also had multiple stories about containers falling and killing Lagosians. That's the next story that we're going to go to. But let's talk about these 774,000 jobs first, and then we can move on to killer containers. 0700-993-993. Hello, thanks for calling us. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, sir?
My name is Francis, calling from Ajebule.
Welcome, Francis.
So, to be candid, the whole process is rubbish.
Okay.
right from the members of the House of Rep to the Senate to even Festus Keyamo himself. That 704 local government job was meant for the poor, the vulnerable people in the community.
Right.
Those that were really affected, isn't it?
Right.
And they said it's from the local government. Why now those senators are clamoring for slot, and members of the House of Rep clamoring for slot? At the end of the day, the people that are supposed to benefit from the job will not benefit from it. Then, and the part of Kiamu, look at the committee. He went and set Uluomomusulu Yaloja. At the end of the day, they will appoint that thing to their people. The major people that need that thing, something will not get to them. What kind of country are we? What kind of country are we in this Nigeria that we are today? The poor people are always the ones to receive the pain at the end of the day. The poor ones are not benefiting anything from the government. If the government sees it deem fit to help the poor ones, the so-called elite will hijack it for themselves. Why is it like that in this country?
Cool question. Thank you for calling, Francis. 99.3.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, this Friday from Igbo.
Welcome, Friday. Go ahead.
For me, I think everything from the beginning was just a scam. See, you read out the minister, the senator, and the rest. What are the service chief, the advisor, the high commissioners? All of them will still have slots. So they know the reason why they created the job. See, my sister, do you think that the Senate president, in his own family, he still have people who are looking for such a job? The job, is it not 20,000 they set for the job per month? So they know what the reason why they set up this appointment. It's just a way to embed the money. And I'm telling you, that job, that budget will never see the end of the day. They have used the money already before coming out with it. They have spent the money. Thank you very much.
Francis in the Bollery. Thanks for calling. 99.3. Hello.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Ruben from Yaba.
Ruben, go ahead.
These senators, national assembly members, they say they should get more slots because they are closer to the people.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they don't even know their people. They don't even know who they represent. They don't even know them. They are not even living in that constituency. Most of them are living in Banana Island or operating from Washington. So that's the problem. That's one of the problems. And I thought this opportunity was a good opportunity for the federal government to strengthen NDE. For example, I don't have a job. Nobody in government knows I don't have a job. Nobody knows. I don't even know where to even put it out there that I don't have a job or anything. Huh? So this is part of the problem. And like one of the callers says, I am very, very sure that money, they don't drop. I'm like, what is the point of what they call it? What's the point of postponing? What I don't know. What does that even mean? What's the point of postponing? And yes, Miss Madam, are you there, ma'am?
Yes, I'm here.
One of these stories, Ali Macaulay, is it Ali Macaulay that was about to be recalled? Mm-hmm. I don't know if that story will come up this month or next month. I want to know. I would love to know if whatever.
You'd love to know the update. Well, it didn't work. The process did not work. It didn't move forward. Well, it's not Nigeria really. It's the people who tried to initiate the process. They didn't quite go through with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
No problem.
Thank you, Ruben.
We move.
All right, we move. Yes, speaking of moving, containers kept killing Lagosians. For most of 2020, truck drivers carrying them to or from ports don't latch them properly. They slide off in traffic. They crush people. And that's exactly what happened to Chidinma Joko in August. Do you remember her story? She died along with her colleagues, and her mother came forward to demand justice at the time.
Please, I would like to report to the general public what happened on Sunday evening. My daughter and her colleague, my daughter Chidinma Ajoko, who used to work at FAN, or who was working at FAN at that time before her death, was returning from work, Federal Airport Authority. She was returning from work with her colleague, one Chima. And they were in a commuter bus, and I think the bus either stopped to pick passengers or stopped to drop passengers, and the reckless trailer driver that was carrying a container was speeding and fell on the bus. I waited and waited the whole night up till 2 p.m. in the night, 2 a.m. in the night, waiting for my daughter to come back from work. I was calling her auntie where she was staying in Surulere, because she was staying in Surulere. I was going to work at the airport. Both of us did not sleep till morning around 6 a.m. when a colleague called me and told me that she was involved in an accident and that they were at a Solo General Hospital. When we got to the Solo General Hospital, they were not among those people that were brought in there, and they referred us to a hospital in Yaba, a general hospital in Yaba, and we went there, and they told us that we had to go and check the morgue because they did not bring any living person. And my friend's husband and my sons went and checked in the morgue and saw my daughter and her colleague. I would like to tell the public that this is getting too much. These containers, they keep on killing people and nobody talks. This my daughter was 27 years old, working in Federal Airport Authority. She went to Babcock University and she was planning to travel abroad to do her master's in the near future. And this is just how life has been snuffed out of her. These tankers and trailers were virtually off the road during the day, except they were allowed to ply in the night. But now, they are all everywhere, very reckless. I don't know what they drink while they drive. You know, they fall on cars. Maybe a whole family that was, just the other day, a whole family that was coming from night vigil, one of the containers fell on the car. But this one, I say no. If my daughter's life is going to be used to stop this thing, then let it be what I've achieved. But I cannot keep quiet. I know that maybe they'll say I'm nobody until somebody's child's life, is snuffed out before they do something. But I think everybody in this Lagos, whether you have a car, whether you enter a bus, whether you drive your own car, all of our lives are in danger because we encounter all these trailers with containers every day, and they are very reckless. Please let something be done. I'm ready to, grant more interviews because this one is too much. I lost my husband last year, March. Just within a year and 3 months, I'm losing my first daughter. What kind of thing is this? And they just show it on the news and that's it. Nobody talks. Nobody wants to do anything. I sent a cousin of mine to the police station, and the police said that they cannot trace the owner of the car. That the driver took the particulars and ran away with the conductor. But the trailer is there. The container is there. And they said that the owner called and said he was going to come and that they are going to arrest him if he comes. But that's all. After that, my cousin came back home. So I want the whole public to react to this video. Let justice be done. Let these people be punished so that others will learn.
I'm not coping. I'm heartbroken. My heart is shattered in pieces. Even my children, her siblings. Sometimes I wake up, they are crying in the middle of the night. They are missing their sister. It hurts that if she was sick, it would have been better for us to cope. But just killing cold-blooded like that, how can we just accept this thing easily?
You just don't kill people on the road carelessly and everybody just folds, their arms and accept it as the norm. Let them investigate and know who the driver, is and the owner of the vehicle and why it's not, latched the way it's supposed to be, and bring them to book. I'm thinking of the other people. Our lives are in danger in Lagos. We are not saying that containers will not carry goods to their destinations, but let there be proper, let there be a law so that if anybody does not keep to the law, the person will be brought to book. Let there be justice in this country for once. The blood of my daughter Chidema and the blood of the colleague Chima and whoever the driver was, if their blood is going to bring justice, that is enough. I'll have my peace. I'll have peace. The shedding of that blood not be in vain. And then all these things will just continue as if nobody cares.
Now, for a moment there, back in August, it looked like there would be justice for Chidinma because the suspected driver and the owner of the truck were charged with involuntary manslaughter. The case was being prosecuted by the state attorney general himself. But since August, we have had no updates on this case. You heard the voice of Mrs. Chineze Ajoko, the mother of the 27-year-old who was crushed to death by a truck, a container, here in Lagos. And for a while, between September and November, let me say, I saw a number of trucks that were latched. It did look like the number of trucks that were latched increased, but you still have trucks on our roads with unlatched containers. So throughout the year, I kept asking a very simple question, and I wasn't getting any answers. How can this thing be policed? How can this thing be policed? Which government agencies are in the best position to stop and catch trucks that refuse to latch their containers? Is there a way to control this thing? Because when we talked about it, every time we've talked about it, I talk about how right from the ports, there are people who can stop this thing, right from before the truck leaves the port. There's really no reason why containers should fall and crush anybody. None. It's a completely avoidable accident. How do we stop this? 0700-993-993-993. I have time for one call. One call. We'll take a break, come back, and continue the conversation. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, this Friday for Gole.
Welcome.
You have said the law supposed to take place at the port. I work at the port.
Okay.
See, 100. It's only 2 out of 100 containers that are going out of the port that are large. You can come to Tika Island, go to Apapa. But those custom officers and the police, what they are after is their money. They don't care about either the truck is large or it's unlarge. They don't even care. You can come and confirm tomorrow. It's only 2 out of 100 that are large. Others are just unlarge. And you see some truck, it's like they are divided into 2. The authorities don't even care. If they are not checked in the port, I don't think they can be checked any other place. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling us. The NSAS protests were in October, but as far back as August here on Hard Facts, I was having a conversation about protest culture and whether or not Nigeria needs it. For example, I had a great talk with Aisha Yusufu of Bring Back Our Girls. That interview is going to play after the break, so make sure that you stay here, you don't go anywhere, because you don't want to miss that interview. We're streaming live on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. We're also on WhatsApp, where you can share your thoughts with us. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. And of course, there is Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. Don't go away.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
to listen to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM, Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. It's time to listen to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM, Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. It's time to listen to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM, Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. It's time to listen to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM, Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. It's time to listen to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM, Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. It's time to listen to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM, Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. It's time to listen to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM, Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your
August, I had this conversation right here on Hard Facts. And this was way before the NSAS protests in October. I brought in Aisha Yusufu. She is one of the conveners for Bring Back Our Girls. And these are some of the questions that I asked, and these are some of the answers that she gave back in August.
You know, Aisha, we often hear people say that based on how much Nigerians complain and how many things they complain about, there should be more demonstrations, there should be more protests, there should be more movements to put pressure on society and government. Do you agree that Nigerians are not agitating enough?
Nigerians are not agitating at all. It's not even that they are not agitating enough. Where's the agitation really? Only a few hundred people that we have there in a country where we have a population of 200 people. But you see, before I go on, let me just give you based on what the caller has just said, it reminded me of I went for a school, BUK Secondary School in Kano, where we have an Irish woman as our principal. And you know, it was and we were the first set. We could challenge our teachers and all of that. I remember a particular time, English class, we had a Ghanaian, Mr. Adoble was his name, God bless him. So we had done something on comprehension, and he failed me and a few others. And then other people who had answered it a different way, they were right. When I got my book, I said, no, sir, this is wrong. I'm right. You can't fail me. This is what the question was asking of. And I tell you, double period. It was on a Friday. Last 2 periods of the day, double period. We spent it analyzing that particular question. At the end of the day, we didn't agree on anything. We left when it was time. On Monday, when Mr. Adobe came back, it was time for English lesson. The first thing he said was he had gone through that question. He found out that myself and others that had answered it the way I answered it were the ones that were right, based on what that was asked. So you can see with this, it tells the child that you can challenge. My children know that I've got their back. Nothing. When it comes to their right, I will be there and we'll talk about it. And teachers need to learn this. The issue of telling the child, oh, leave it and don't do anything about it, that's not. There's also, even in university, I had to fight for it, but that's for another. Let me go back to the question you asked. You see, Sandra, the biggest problem we have in Nigeria is that Nigerians think they have the patent to prayers. As long as Nigerians keep abdicating their responsibility to God, we will not do anything. We have a very selfish attitude, one. If something doesn't happen to us, we don't want to do anything about it. Secondly, also, we have this laid-back, lazy attitude, this feeding bottle mentality. We think that if we just pray, everything will be okay. So instead of Nigerians to take action, they would rather go to their churches or their mosques or their shrine or whatever it is they believe in, and then they will pray, abdicate their responsibility and hand it over to God. We forget that God will not do for us what he has given us the capacity to do for ourselves. And lastly, before I don't end on this point, is the fact that, you see, Nigerians fight for God, but they leave their fight to God. When it is matter of religion, you will see that they will throw their wrapper away, they will throw their trousers away, they will be fighting each other, killing each other. But when it comes to matter of fighting for their right, that is when they will now abdicate it to God and say God will be the one to fix Nigeria. God will not. We will be the ones to fix Nigeria.
Now, some Nigerians say that the reasons they don't protest, the big reasons why they don't agitate more, Aisha, is fear of reprisal, or pessimism, or nothing will change, or cynicism. Activists are getting paid. They will chop the money and they will go and sit down outside. What do you think about these reasons that are often shared?
They are all excuses. And these excuses they say are like shoes. You always find the one that fits. So because they don't come out to protest, and you know, your conscience, every one of us, we have a moral compass inside that tells us when we're doing right or wrong, you know. And for them to assuage that their conscience, they look for different excuses to justify why they have not joined. They will say, oh, activists eat money. And I said to them, why don't you come and protest and not eat money and give them? Oh, this and that. They are all excuses. But before I go on, the irony of the case you just talked about, the All Nigerian People's Party going to court, is that it was Muhammadu Buhari, the present president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that went to court. He was tear-gassed in Kano. He had gone to do a revolution. He even called it a revolution after he lost the election. He had gone to Kano to do a revolution. His running mate was there with Chuba Okadibo, and the police tear-gassed them, and that was what led to Chuba Okadibo's death. And yet the same man went to court. And you know what is even more ironic? Femi Falana, that today this administration is hiring people to protest against him, was the one who took up that case pro bono. You know, Buhari don't get money. Tell us they don't get money before. Now they take our money, they do big boy. They pose now. Before they ask for money, they do. Femi Falana, he couldn't of course afford it. Femi Falana took that case on pro bono, and it was ruled that you do not, police have no right to ask to give permission. What you need to do is to send them at least 48 hours notification for them to come and provide protection. And that's just the irony of that. Coming back to people, making all sorts of excuses. They are all excuses. People are afraid. A lot of people say they don't want to die. And I've said this before, die not die. Now only one die we get. And anyway, that die comes, and so that die will be. People are dying in their houses every day. Corruption and bad governance is killing people. A young man just died recently. He had an accident. He was taken to hospital. Unfortunately, doctors were on strike, and then he died. Bad governance, corruption has killed him. People die. Roads that are supposed to be dualized, they are not dualized because somebody has eaten the money. Yet, people sit down in their houses and say they don't want to die. Terrorists are killing us. Bandits are killing us. All sorts of police stray bullets. You are in your house, come and kill you. Yet, people forget that they are being killed every day because they think they will not be victims. They are not. I've said it before and I will repeat it again. Yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors, and tomorrow's victims will be today's survivors. I always ask this question: who is next? Those that have died before, they won't die again. The next to be killed are those of us that are alive. People are saying, God forbid, they are praying. Even the people that have been killed, they also say, God forbid, once upon a day they are alive. Let me just share a quick story with you of my time in university. So I have gone to 3 universities: Usman Danfodio University, ABU Zaria. I finally landed in BUK that I never wanted to go to because I was born and brought up in Ghana and I wanted to do university elsewhere. I finished in BUK. In BUK, that was 1996. I had a particular course was inorganic chemistry. When the result came out, that I don't know whether they will put a result on the board. I failed the course. I couldn't believe, how come did I fail this course? There was no exam. It was assignment which I passed and also practicals. And my group members, everyone got a B. How come I'm the only one that failed? And I took it up. And one of the things that I find in Nigeria is that when somebody is fighting for his or her right, a lot of people will be discouraging you. Just leave the matter. I shall go and register the course. I say I won't register the course because I didn't fail this course. How will you tell me that I failed inorganic chemistry of all the courses to fail in this world? And so I went to meet the lecturer and I said, you know what the lecturer said to me? He said, you have seen it on the board that you failed. So that means it. I said, no. Because before that happened, the semester before that, a particular lecturer had failed me. What happened? We came for a test late, practical, and he said, those of us that came for this practical late, we didn't do, we're going to fail it. We took, and even in that case, on the board, it was written I had passed it. It was when I checked the details, our level coordinators used to allow us check our details. I thought I failed it. So I said to him, no, sir, that won't work. The lecturer was playing with me. I left him, I went directly to the head of department, HOD. The HOD too wasn't taking the matter seriously. People would say, I shall just let this thing be. It wasn't, that was in the chemistry department. I was in biological sciences. I said, no. I took the matter to the dean of faculty of science. Can't remember his name, the one that was there in 1996. He minuted, I had to write a series of applications and he minuted on it. And then I sent me back to the department. When I got the department, people were very angry. Why? I said, this matter, I'm not leaving it to. I was a student here. I'm fighting this to the end. At the end of the day, guess what happened? They had made a mistake. They took some of my marks and gave it to somebody that did not even offer the course, but his number was before my own number was as SCI 95 2068. His own was 2069. He didn't do the course. They gave him field. Because what happened was that they put the marks together and they found an average. So I was missing that chunk of mark. At the end of the day, they gave me a C. Even though my group members had gotten me, I was okay with a C. I didn't want to carry over. But you know what I found most annoying is the fact that people kept discouraging me for fighting for my rights. I said, no, just leave it. Aisha, your own is too much. Even let me give you another example. I can't remember the year. Some years ago, I stopped, police were doing, one way. You know the road I told you earlier that my daughter stopped me from going on one way? Police were always, and anytime I would pass, I was like, well, these people, one day, unluckily for them, I was opposite them when they were coming. I blocked their car. I did a video of it. It's on my Twitter handle. They were coming and I was telling them, they were like, oh, no, that they are on emergency. I said, it's not an emergency. I know where you're going to. because they were going to the school where my children were, the Regent Secondary School, and that's out of that time, I think the vice president's child was there. It's a school where who is who in Nigeria is there. So I knew I had just dropped my children. I knew where you were going to. You were just going there to go and protect some governors' wives and all of that, because it was a day our children were playing football. I had dropped my children away. But you guess what? Nigerians are, even the madam, let it go now. Nigerians abused me. They insulted me over that video just because I said police had to do the right thing. But lo and behold, I stood there that day. The police had to turn and go and do a long way. But you know what they now did? Because there were people who were cheering, where they now came back and arrested the people that were by this thing. So in the evening, in the afternoon, when I came to pick my children, they stopped them. They were not telling me that police had arrested people who were just bystanders. They were not the one that blocked them. It was more Aisha that blocked them, but they didn't arrest me. They now arrest those bystanders. And I took that case up. And I remember the police, what was this name? This guy that they have taken to a remote village. He was the PRO force. Yemi, I can't remember his name. He was the one, they took it up and those people were afraid. But you see, Nigerians will not only not fight for their life, they will discourage those who are fighting for their right, because they want all of us to be the same, so that they will say nobody is fighting for our right. That's why they make all of those excuses.
Aisha Yusufu back in August 2020. If you want to listen to the full interview, I recommend you do find it on our podcast. Our podcast is Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. The first 5 minutes of that interview and the next 5 minutes of the show is brought to you courtesy Semovita, Golden Penny Semovita, and they've got goodies to give away to 3 lucky winners if you can answer this question correctly. I am something. It's a quiz. I am something. Are you listening? It's a quiz. You have to go on Twitter and answer. Tag Nigeria Info FM. Tag GP Semovita and use the hashtag King of Swallow and answer this question. I am something. Crabs are my friends. Prawns and periwinkles too. Even the king is my close ally. What am I? I am something. Crabs are my friends. Prawns and periwinkles too. Even the king is my close ally. What am I? Answer on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. Answer on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. Answer via WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75825. I'm going to pick one winner from all 3. You get shopping vouchers, you get airtime, and you can win other fantastic prizes as well. Let's take a message from our sponsors.
See how much it now looks better. Golden pennies and movita. New look, the same great taste. Golden pennies and movita. Because easy to swallow and not too heavy. The same great taste, easy to make. Golden pennies and movita. See how much it now looks better. Golden pennies and movita. Natural.
Get on Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Facebook Nigeria Info 99.3, Twitter at Nigeria Info FM, and of course there's WhatsApp 080-959-75825. If you are commenting on Twitter, use the hashtag King of Swallow, because that's what Golden Penny Semovita is, the King of Swallow, coronated very recently in the presence of all manner of dignitaries, including but not limited to Queen Egusi, Queen Eforiro, Queen Edike Kong, Queen Oafang, Queen Omiyankuka, Queen Obono, Chief Roundabout was there as well, Chief Brokoto was there as well, Chief Inuero was there as well, Chief Shaki was also there. There were lots of other dignitaries, and Semovita, Golden Penny Semovita, was coronated the King of Swallow. But na person where chop swallow 9 feet protest, Abi. I wonder if Aisha Yusufu will say that that's another excuse, because she really had a lot to say about Nigerians exercising their legal right to protest. And in light of the NSAS movement that kicked off a couple of months later and the aftermath, how do you see her words today? How do you see her words today? Do you think that Nigeria needs a protest culture? What do you think about government's approach to Nigerian protests? 0700 993 993 993 0700 993 993 993. You can leave your thoughts with me by Facebook as well. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. Again, that riddle that you have to answer me on Twitter is a simple one. Huh? It's a very, very simple one, but let me give it to you one more time. I am something. Crabs are my friends. Prawns and periwinkles too. Even the king is my close ally. What am I? 3 correct answers will get gifts, courtesy Golden Penny Semovita. Hello, thanks for calling us.
Hello.
How are you? What's your name?
I'm fine. Please, I've been trying to call you for long, but it has been ringing. You have not been taking my calls.
Okay.
I need somebody to talk to. Please, I need your contact number, please.
Okay. Can you send? Do you have WhatsApp?
I don't have, and I don't have any this except the normal number.
Can you send an email to me?
I don't know anything like that.
I can't give out my number live on air.
Send it to this number.
Okay, I'll send it to this number. Thank you for calling us. 99.3, hello.
Hello.
How are you,
Hello?
sir? What's your name?
Fine. Good evening. My name is Don Dukwe from
Welcome.
Savoyaba. Savoyaba.
Welcome. Do you think Nigeria needs a protest culture?
We don't have a protest culture. We don't have fighting for your own rights culture as an even as an individual, because you'll be doing it and somebody will come and destroy you, just like Aisha said. You understand? You'll be doing it and somebody will say, leave that thing, Joe, leave them, leave it. They will discourage you. They believe it that God will throw manna from heaven, throw your right from heaven, throw everything from government from heaven to you. You just sit down, your own is just to enjoy. You don't have anything to do. Just fold your hand, say by the grace of God, say prayer, very simple prayer. Just say it and God will do it. Instead of you doing your own work. You understand? And that thing is too bad of Nigerians. So they will be blaming the government, do your own work. Do what you're supposed to do as a group, as an individual. You understand what I'm saying? So that is that. Nigeria, we don't have any culture of protest.
Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. Let's listen one more time to our sponsors and then we'll take a final call and wrap up the show.
See how much it now looks better. Golden pennies and movita. New look, the same great taste. Golden pennies and movita. Because it's easy to swallow and not too heavy. The same great taste, easy to make. Golden pennies and movita. See how much it now looks better. Golden pennies and movita. Natural. So food, pennies and Movita. See now the brand new look, Mama says Movita. See now the same great day, see now the golden penny, see now the golden penny.
You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Thank you so much to Golden Penny for bringing 10 minutes of the show to you. Let's try and take one final call and then wrap up the show. 0700-993-993-993. Hello, thanks for calling us.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
This Friday,
Friday, you've called us 3 times in a row.
No, today is not today. Every other day I can call it because of my work. I can't call, but today. Let me use today.
Today is your day. Go ahead.
See, I think we need a protest. The last time, people said that there was no result. For me, personally, there is result. Because he has put all this collecting money for tourists and other person. He has really put up this Badagry Road. Before, Badagry Road was just like a business center for them. But today, you cannot keep collecting money from Badagry Road.
Okay, all right. So there was some changes as a result of the NSAR's protest. Friday, thank you for calling us. And thank you to everybody who was a part of today's show. I loved it. And you were great. You were fantastic. We've got comments on WhatsApp. Let's see, we can quickly take this message from Ben in Yaba, who says, first of all, let Kayamo tell us how much interest the 52 billion has accrued since the money was released. Our lawmakers are selfish and cannot be trusted. With some illiterate trailer drivers on drugs and bad roads with law to check these without laws to check these, the incidents of containers falling on Nigerians will continue. Lagos, listen again to this episode on our podcast, HardFacts with Sandra Ezekwesili. I am back tomorrow at 3. Join me for the Big 3 as well as Community Report, where we may have Deborah Okezie, the mother of the 11-year-old boy who was sexually, mentally, physically abused in his school, allegedly, join us on Community Report. We hope she can join us tomorrow, 4 p.m. So be here for that conversation. We're going to take a look at the month of September tomorrow between 5 and 6. So try and think about the biggest stories for you for September, and let's talk about those right here. I'm Esther Zakwasili on Twitter and Instagram. Those were Hard Facts, Lagos. Good night.
Talk.